We are on our fifth neighborhood now. We've been working in inner city Atlanta for 46 years and had no idea about community transformation. We were working with kids, so we were doing services, but one thing connects to another. And you realize that the kids are not going to change much unless you get them out of the neighborhood, out of a bad environment. Well, when we moved into the neighborhood, we found out that exodus strategy, get them out of the bad neighborhood, was exporting our best neighbors. And so what was good for those families was bad for the neighborhood. And so we had to change that strategy and say, okay, we got to change the neighborhood so that folks will want to stay here and that will attract other neighbor leaders. We kind of backed into community development, and now we're on a fifth neighborhood. We've made a couple of bad mistakes, but what we've learned is that it takes about a decade to turn a community around. And one of the reasons why there aren't more cities or nonprofits doing this is because, one, it takes a long time, and two, it's really pretty expensive. Once you get into real estate, you get into millions of dollars pretty quick, and so it's expensive, and it's very complex. There are a lot of moving parts that make up a healthy neighborhood. Schools, certainly for one, you got to have a better relationship with the police. Your social service providers, that's very important. You got to get a decent grocery store into a community. So there's, and then of course the church has a very important role. Usually they're rather absent in those communities. So there are a lot of moving parts, so it's more complicated. It's just a lot easier to focus in on one particular need and kind of make that your major emphasis and do that well and hope that that's going to make the difference. It certainly can make a huge difference in the lives of those individuals and individual families that you're serving. No question about that. But there is a reason why poor communities remain poor. And that's because our social service programs that actually work and get folk out of poverty, well, it's like education. We all say how important it is, and obviously it is, but education is the ticket out of the neighborhood. If we get them into college, they're gone. They never come back. And so it's a brain drain on a community. So then the strategy becomes, how do we retain our leadership? How do we give those young people a vision for transforming their own neighborhood and becoming a part of that? Whole different strategy. But it goes right to the heart of poverty, of sustained poverty over generations.